Thank you very much, Wenhao. I was just focusing on the live streaming part, so that's why I got delayed. So it's a very nice initiative, Wenhao, and for AMSA MUCM to have a financial literacy talk. Because when I first heard about this, I was like, wow, I mean, wish we had one like this when we were like students. We would have done quite a bit differently, things differently in our lives as we grew up. But it's never late. We can still learn from whatever you like to, hear from here today. And this is something that we never bother. Most of the time we spend studying subjects and a lot of OBG, I hope, and various subjects and MBBS. So we always think like, these things we learn on the job. But this is so crucial, and you will hear from an expert today how we can actually handle our finance. He's promised that he's going to talk to us about the basic ABCDs. Of course, he's an expert and he knows much more, but he's going to keep it very, very simple for us so that we can start our financial knowledge with some basic steps. I thank all of you to join us, especially on a Saturday morning. I know sometimes you want to wake up like a bit late, but it's something that you will realize that over the long run, you've made a good decision by coming to this talk. So once again, thank you, AMSA MUCM team, led by Wenhao, for this initiative. To all the people who work behind the scene to make it a success, to have the event possible. And to our Dr. Uy, who's going to give us the talk. Welcome to MUCM via Zoom portal. Hope we can get to see you in person someday, because Selangor and Malacca is not that far. So with that, let's have a great talk ahead. With that, back to you, Wenhao.
Thank you very much, Prof, for your kind words. Just to enlighten the participants, although majority of us here are medical students from MUCM, there are a few participants from other professions as well, like finances, IT, or already working nurses and doctors here. So I hope everyone here today can gain a lot from this talk today. Next up on our agenda is the photography session. So now may I have all the participants and committee to turn on your cameras and put on your best smile. We'll give you about 10 seconds to get ready and turn on your camera. Michelle, can you help me? Yeah, Jensen, you're here. Can you help us to take a group photo?
Yep, sure. 3, 2.
Hang on, Jensen. I think still quite a few are opening the cameras.
Oh, sure.
Because I think they're just putting the final touches. Even Kesan is also putting his final touches to look handsome.
Morning, sir.
Morning, Dr. Kesan. Okay, so others are probably camera shy, or they're just not ready for the picture. Okay, back to you, Jensen.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Another one. 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Jensen. All right, and thank you, participants for your cooperation. You might leave your camera on throughout the session for better engagement for the talk. So without further ado, I shall introduce our kind speaker for today, Dr. Uy Chi Kyong. Dr. Uy is a Yoneyama Rotary Scholar. He's a holder of master's degree from the University of South Australia. He later obtained his PhD degree from UPM and furthered his studies with a post-PhD research at the University of Tokyo. Dr. Uy was appointed as one of the industry advisory panels for University Technology Petronas and was a part-time lecturer at the University Putra Malaysia and also University Technology Petronas. He's also a professor at the University of Management and Science. Dr. Uy is an entrepreneur and an investor. He has started many businesses, including software companies, schools, trading company, research and development company, eatery, property investment and holding companies. He's a very successful businessman and often shares his secret of success with many young and senior investors. So without further ado, I shall pass the floor to our speaker today, Dr. Uy, for the talk. The floor is yours, Dr. Uy.
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, I would like to express my thanks to Professor Dr. Som, and also Dr. Som is the advisor of the AMSA, and also I would like to express my thanks to AMSA President Wen Hao and his committee to make this happen. I would like to thank all of you, and also thank you very much for the opportunity, and also I will be able to share with all the young people. This basically today is my talk will be mainly touching on how, not so much on the investment part, but how to make use of your money wisely. And also I'll share some of my experience, how do I invest, and how to my own experience basically. Okay. Without further ado, I would like to open my slides to share some about. Okay. Okay. Can you see the PowerPoint?
Yes, we can see the PowerPoint.
Okay, great. So today I'm going to talk about something you will never learn in school, as what the Professor Som said. I mean, something the school will teach you all the subjects and also all the knowledge, but they fail to tell you how to manage your money. And also, I think this is important when you come out to the society, and also you start to work and all this, so you need to deal with money. And sometimes people think, oh, money doesn't matter, but I think it's very important to all of us. So before I start, I would like to make it clear, I'm not any investment agent, or I don't have any link to any investment agent. I just am amateur investor. I just want to position myself as an amateur investor, because there are many professionals in the market. So I dare not claim myself as the professional, but I just want to share my my knowledge, and property investment is one of my hobby, and I just want to share with you the experience how I do it, what I did earlier. Okay, and it's a great pleasure to share with the know-how and with all the close friends. Basically, this is the whole idea. And also, please bear in mind, any investment, basically, it has a risk. So I just want you to understand this. Okay, so first question, I understand most of you are doctors or going to be a doctor. So generally, I mean, people perspective think people perspective doctors are rich. So this is the public, general public assume that doctors are rich. But I think we understand, I mean, doctor is having a good income. But having a good income doesn't mean you, and being rich, I think is two different things. So I think this is something we have to make it clear. Okay, let's look at the richest people in Malaysia. Any doctors there? No, I don't think we see any doctors there. So I am not saying doctor is not a good career, but it basically being rich and also high income is two different things. So I want you to understand this. So first question, okay. So do you think being a medical doctor is a good career path? Maybe it's too late for you to think about that, but please explain why do you think so. So some of you may want to answer this. I just give you the question. Okay, so maybe you can click the button, answer the poll. So basically, I just share with you what my friend told me. I mean, just I have a friend. He has a son wanted to be a doctor, but the father tried to discourage him to being a doctor. I was so shocked why the father think that way. What the father trying to say is because doctor is busy, and also the working life is very, very tough, and also you can't get anyone to replace you. The father is actually is a architect, so he say even I'm away from the company, but I still can make money. But even if he's not in his office, he still make money. But doctor, you can't get someone to help you to make money. So I think this is the thing we have to understand of being a doctor. So let's say, for example, you cannot get someone to help you to do the operations. Let's say you have 10 patients. So they have to queue up and waiting for you to do the operations. You cannot say, okay, so since I'm busy, but of course you can hire a doctor, another doctor, or open a clinic or something like that. So this is something I want you to understand, being what type of lifestyle you want, and being a doctor and also being entrepreneurs. Okay, so but doesn't mean being doctor cannot be an entrepreneur. Okay, so but many people think generally in Malaysia still people think doctor is a good career. At least you are granted a job. Okay, let's look at doctor, how much the doctor make. For fresh graduates, basically the new doctor is making about 60% of the fresh graduates are expecting about 3,500 upon graduating, which is B40. So where you have to start with B40, then after that you climb up, but you very quickly you'll move out from make a good money when you have, after you finish your MO, maybe a private practice and all this. Okay, so how medical doctor makes money? So we look at this. So I don't know. I mean, so some doctor, even they are qualified doctors. Some they don't practice as a doctor. So what I'm trying to tell you here is, it's just a career path. Actually, you can move on. You have a bigger scope actually being a doctor and all this. It's not necessary to be being a doctor for your whole entire life. So we see a lot of cases in Malaysia. After a while, they move to another area. Okay, so I think before we understand about we talk about the what do you call that, financial management and all this. I think it is very important that the attitude towards money, our attitude towards money, because everyone has a different attitudes towards money. Some they think they want more money, some they think they are happy with what they have, and some they think money is not everything. But different people, and they have a different attitudes towards money. Even for the different generations, I think we have a different attitude towards money. And also not only towards money is not how you make money, and also how it also affect your investment as well. So if you are born in 1950, most likely you won't invest in the stock market. Because why? In 1950, for the 1950 to 1980, 1970, basically, or 1980, basically the stock doesn't move very fast. If you are born in 1970s or 1980s, mostly you will invest a lot in the stock because you'll see stock is start moving during that time. So this is very much depend on, but today if you're born in 1990s, so sometimes you may think no, stock maybe is not a good vehicle to make money, but some you may think maybe another platform can make you give you a better return. So everyone has a different attitude towards money, and also being successful. So sometimes you do not understand the importance of luck. When we talk about luck, but mainly is talking about the timing. So timing is also important, and also sometimes you need a little bit of luck, and also skill, not skill, sorry, wrong spelling. Okay. Okay, so I think skill, you need skill to make money. So skill is also very important, and also sometimes you have some unfair advantages. So what I'm saying, what is unfair advantage? Because sometimes you have if your father is a prime minister, definitely you have more advantage. So, and to make money so much, it will be so much easier compared to the rest. So, and also the timing, when you talk about timing, it's also the luck. For example, like Bill Gates, if Bill Gates born in year 2000, I don't think he has the opportunity, because he start the software in the correct timing, and also the software Microsoft in the good timing. That's how we make money. So I think, and also is sometimes it's important for us to say enough is enough. So if you think, okay, it's not point to some people go to certain extent, they want all the money in the whole world. So even they commit into crime. So I think this is not necessary. I think we see some of them, some of people, they even committed into crime because they just want money. So I think work ethic is also very important. And before we talk about investment, I think we should talk about the saving. What is saving? Saving is income minus expenses. But sometimes expenses can be our ego also. Why people overspend money? Because they want ego. They think all these things with a nice car, with what they call that, big house, bring them egos with the branded things. I think will give them a big ego. Of course, big ego, it comes with the big expenses. So so it's important, I mean, for us to save enough, I mean, so that you have money to invest. And also why we want, and another question is why we want to make so much money. Why money is so important? Some people, they think they want to buy branded goods, and they want to have a big house, they want to have a nice car and all this. But to me, I think it's more importantly is the money. It give you the ability to control, to give you control over your time. And money, we should use money to buy time and options. So for example, like myself, I have changing my career many times. I was in IT for many years. So after that, I can move on to another industry. So I start something eatery, food business, restaurant, and also I do some schools, education, and this. And I can afford not to work for a few years. So I can start my own business, even it's not making money for a few years. So this is something we should use monies wisely, not to spend so much money on luxurious goods, but we should use money wisely, so we're able to have, we can buy times and options. or let's say, for example, you say, okay, one day I want to be entrepreneurs. I want to start something, or want to be like Mahathir, he decided to want to be a politician. So if he have saved enough, he can go for the move to the what do you call that, the politics or anything, even without a income for a few years. So I would suggest, I mean, all the youngster, I think you should save up enough. It's not so that you can have the freedom and have more options in the life. I mean, later part of your life. So maybe after 10 years, maybe you think, okay, I want to do something else. I want to go for lecturing, or I want to be a professor, or you want to be something, a researcher, or you want to research and you want to be come out with a new products or anything. So you can do that, or you want to be an inventor, something related to medical. So you can do that because you have saved enough. So you have time. You can buy time and options. I think this is very important. So we can see some people. I mean, they have to pay this, pay that. They have to live very tightly. I mean, they have to by end of the month they have no money at all. So I think this is something. If they don't have money and they need to spend hand to mouth, basically, I think they do not have so many options. Okay. So, and also many youngsters may think expensive car, watches, fancy watches, and also the huge house, you will gain respect from people. But actually, through my experience, I tell you, no, you won't. You won't. So what you want is the respect and admirations from other people. So not because you have big house. Maybe they would admire your big house, your expensive car, and your fancy watches. Some watches can go up to 2 million, 3 million. But do they think they admire you? No, actually, they just imagine, oh, one day I want to be in your position. I want to be rich also. They just have that imaginations, not because they do not respect you at all. So they just want to have that imagination. That's all only. That's why sometimes we found that some direct selling and all this, they show you, okay, this how much I make, and also the big car, big house. You see, if you follow my way, my path, you will be so rich. But we know that it's not possible. Okay, so for the youngster, I would suggest you try to save enough, or save as much as possible. That will make your life easier in the later part of your life. Okay, so income, you should minus out the ego, not the expenses. Okay, you just reduce your egos, then you have more saving. Because you can't change the income. Sometimes we can, but sometimes we can't. I'll talk about this part, how to increase your income later. But expenses, if you have a lot, if your income increase, but your ego also getting bigger, so you won't save money as you won't save the money as well. So you have to reduce your ego so you can save money. Okay, so I think you can increase the income, then reduce your ego, then your saving will be you will have more saving. Okay, this is something. This book is quite good. If you're interested, you can go and get it, or you can just watch through the video or the summary of the book summary. I think a lot of YouTube you can get this information. Okay, so let's talk about money. So when you start work, Okay, so how do you get money? You have to work, you start work. As a doctor or as a person, so you may start to work, you may, after your graduation, so you start work. So once you start work, what you need to do is you have to pay tax. You get salary means you have to pay taxes. So once you have tax, once you have the salary, first thing what do you think? Most of the students or most of the graduates, they will think to have a new car because they are getting sick of their parents' old car. Driving, they have to drive their parents' old car for many years. So they think, oh, okay, since I have the money, so I want my own nice car, okay, or my dream car. So they want to have a dream car. So the first thing they will think about buying a car. But when they buy a car, they don't have the knowledge of insurance and loan. End up they are paying extra unnecessary. And also, so you start work. So maybe you want to think about you want to have an insurance policies, and all the insurance agent will try to come in. Okay, the insurance agent may come and see you and say, okay, maybe by this time you need to have insurance policy. So I'll talk about this. So maybe you need a credit card because so far before that you can't own a credit card because you have no income. Since you have income now, so maybe you want to apply for a credit card. So I'll talk about this when you start work. So how to deal with insurance company, how to get loans. So maybe after 5 years later, maybe you want to start, you have accumulated some money. So you want to start a family. So maybe you want to buy a house. And when you purchase a house, so you have to deal with lawyers. How do you deal with lawyers? Then how to deal with the MRTA, the insurance, how to deal with the bank. Then how to get a loan from bank. I think this is something we need to understand, how to get a loan and what type of loan do they have and how to save money and how to pay less to get more, okay? And also maybe after 10 years later, you think, okay, maybe it's time for me to start a clinic or start a business. So maybe you want to understand. So I'll talk about the business, what type of company, how to set up a company, how to maybe joint ventures and all this. So maybe you want to think about that. So I'll explain a little bit how to start your own business if necessary. So maybe after that, you have accumulated some money. So maybe you want to think about financial planning. Of course, you can start investment much early, but most likely, most people, they can't because they do not do it. Of course, you can start with small. It doesn't mean to be a big money, but if you have bigger money or you have more money, now you want to start your financial planning. So we are not talking about investment here. We're talking about financial planning. Okay. So then about 30 years, I think how to write a will and also how to accumulate wealth and also retirement planning. So I'm not going to talk about these two. So I'm going to talk about up to investment, this area. Okay. Okay. So before then we let's talk about the income. You make money. First thing what you need to do is the income tax office will look up, will come and look for you. Okay, please pay tax. Please remember, all income are taxable. All income are taxable, whether legally or illegally. So sometimes people think illegal money, you don't need to pay tax. No, all money, all income, you can pay tax. Even today, you walk into the tax office, you say, okay, I have this money illegally. So what should I do? They say, just pay tax. So whether the police will catch you or not, it has nothing concern them at all. So their job is just to collect tax. So whether it's legal or illegal, they don't, it's not their concern. So maybe they will inform the police, then police will look after you, but they still tax you, okay? So we know this is why I'm not saying the Najib is they get the money illegally or anything, but as you can see from the news, actually the income tax is asking Najib and his sons to pay tax. So it's 1.7 billion tax, even if they call it donation money or anything. So the tax office will not view it whether is it legal or illegal or how you get the money. It's not their concern. If you have the money, you pay tax. So I would like to let you know, in case you make any money, remember to declare tax. Okay. So how much tax do you need to pay? So is basically for if your salary is 3,000, 3,500, practically you don't need to pay tax. Okay. So you don't need to pay tax if your salary is below 3,000. But sometimes even up to 3,005, even up to 3,008, you still don't need to pay tax. I will tell you how to save your tax. Okay, I'm going to talk about this. Since first thing you're going to do is you need to pay your tax. So the highest tax, if you're earning more than 2 million, basically your tax bracket will be 30%. So every dollars you make, 30 cents will go to the government or the income tax office. So if you earn less, basically you pay less. So it's something like so in other words, is you make more money, it's your social responsibility to pay more taxes. Okay, but as we know, mostly the rich people won't pay tax. You look at the Trump, the US, the ex-president. He was so proud that he's paying less tax than a teacher. So basically, how all these rich people at the end, they are not really paying tax. Those who cannot run away from tax actually is the worker, the blue worker or the white worker, the office worker, the salary earner. Basically, you can't get away from tax. Okay, so you know how much tax you need to pay, and also you need to plan your tax, and also how to save your tax. Basically, so I'm going to talk about how to save your tax. Basically, so if your monthly salary rate is 5,000, then other than tax, also you have to contribute to the EPF, the so-called employment funds. Basically, you need to pay. Okay, so this is something like insurance system. If you are jobless, so the government will pay you certain amount. So this is so-called EIS. So for the EIS is 4%, 0.4%. So you also have to take into considerations of the unemployment insurance. So it's compulsory for everyone. So if you are jobless one day, so you can claim back you can get some money from the government. Okay, so 0.4 and 0.2 will pay by the employer. Okay, so this will automatically deducted from your from your monthly salary. So when you look at let's say for example your salary is 3,005. So when you receive the salary, you look at your bank, actually it's not 3,005, it's much lesser, because you will minus out all 0.4% for the unemployment insurance, and also you also have to pay the EPF. EPF is something like you are saving. The government is forced saving. It's kind of the forced saving. So you have to save money then only you can withdraw it when after you're 55 years old or 60 years old. So you can get back your money after that. So basically, it's kind of it's called employee provision fund. So basically, you force saving. So when you get old, at least you still have some money. Okay. So basically, for Malaysians, basically the employer have to pay 13%. So if you are the boss, if you promise to give your employee 3,000, basically your actual payment is not 3,000. You have to add 13% because you have to pay a little bit extra. So okay, so but this is the below 5,000. Okay, more than 5,000, the employer only pay 12%. How much is employee paying? Employee paying is a 9%. So every month you will minus out 0.4% from your salary, and plus the 9% of your salary. So basically it's close to 10% will be gone. Okay, so you just for easy calculation, basically you 3,000, basically you can get what you can get in your bank basically is 2007. So this is for easy calculation. So for a company, a boss, the employer, they not only paying 3,000, they have to add another 13% of 3,000. Okay, so this is something you need to understand when you look how to look at your when you look at your salary payslip. Okay, so other than that, and also you can SOCSO. SOCSO is something like SOCSO is okay. It's blocking. Okay, it's a employee social security. Okay, so SOCSO, let's say for example you have injury and all this during the work, and so this the insurance scheme you'll pay. So basically you have to pay, the employer will pay. Just now I said 10% because you have to add up, you have to pay for the employee for this much of money. Let's say 3,500, you have to add another 17 ringgit and 25 cents. Okay, basically the total contributions from the employer is about 77.6. Okay, so this is something you need to understand when you look at your payslip. So you will see this 9% and also 0.4 plus this 17.25 will be deducted accordingly. Okay, so this is something but for the employer, they have to pay 12% extra plus the 0.2% plus the 60 ringgit point 35 cents. So they have to pay more than that. Okay. So when you hire a person, you need to consider all this as well. Okay. So okay, so how to save tax? So just now I say 3,000, basically you don't need to pay tax, or 3,500 you don't need to pay tax, because you can have this scheme, this called personal deductions. You can deduct some of the, like 9,000 will be deducted. Let's say, for example, your income, let's say 3,000 a month. So 1 year is 36,000. So 36,000 you minus 9,000, basically is 36,000 minus 9, basically you only have 27,000. So the 27, basically you don't need to pay tax, 27,000 basically. So that's the reason why you can minus out all this. Let's say your salary is 35,000, so you minus out 9,000. Other than that, you have to plan for this. If you take any courses or anything, education fee, you can minus another 7,000. So try to make use of this. Okay, so you can improve yourself and pay for some education fee and all this. Then you can minus another 7,000 from the education fee. Other than that, you also can take. You have to keep all the receipts. Okay, when you do traveling and all this domestic traveling and all this is 1,000. So you can go for holidays or anything, bring your girlfriend or boyfriend or your father, your parents go out for the let's say the Professor Som go to Penang, maybe you can take this and minus 1,000 8,000 from here. So don't throw away the receipts, okay? And also the lifestyle, you can purchase the computer and also the handphone, mobile phone and all this. Don't throw away the receipts. And also it's important to the receipt, they ask the shop to put under your name, okay? So sometimes so for the travel expenses also same thing. Make sure they put down your name exactly according to your IC. So make the claim much more easier, okay? Other than that, also you purchase computer, tablet, also smartphone, you can have an additional 2005 deductions. So other than that, the lifestyle. So lifestyle also you can have this style deduction 500. You can buy some sport equipment and some or joining the gym or anything, the facilities and all this, you can minus another 500. So actually you just imagine if you 9,000, you minus another expenses 10,000, then plus the 2005 is 12,000, 12,500. You have another 2,005, another 2,005, another 500. Actually, and one more another 1,000 for the breastfeeding equipment and all this, and also for medical fee, you can use it for minus 8,000 for the medical fee, and also you can also the COVID test kits. Keep all the receipts, and also the vaccinations, and also the test kits, and also the test equipment and all this. You can minus another 8,000. So, but many people don't look at it and they don't keep the receipts. So when come to, then they cannot deduct so they pay more tax. Okay, so you should, to earn money sometimes it's very difficult, but to save money actually sometimes is quite it's not that difficult. Okay, so one thing what we need to do is you have to look at the benefit and also understand the benefit. You can where you can save tax. Okay, other than that, you also can you buy insurance. Also, you can, if you buy the insurance, or you can save about, you can minus another 7,000. But this one sometimes you have to approve provision fund. You can buy some insurance and takafu or some of the investment type of fund. So you can minus another 7,000 from here. Okay, so education and medical, the insurance. So you buy insurance, you can save another 3,000. Basically, so these are the things I want you to aware, and also the scheme simpanan pendidikan. Also, you can save money for future educations and all this. You can save, you can minus another 8,000. Okay, and also the private, you can invest in the private retirement scheme and all this. You can buy some of the unit trust and all this. You can minus another 3,000. That's why what I'm trying to say here is you have to make use of all the scheme and all this, how to save the money. Okay, but many people, they don't do that because they think, oh, doesn't matter. So no, every cent matters. So you have to think about how to utilize all this scheme, but the scheme is changing every year. So you have to look at the what do you call that, the report, the budget, the yearly budget, the government yearly budget. So what are which area and what are the item they have the tax relief. I think this is very important to understand what are the tax relief. Okay, and also as I mentioned just now, you may need credit cards, but the credit cards, you have to use our credit card wisely. Okay, So the credit card, basically, they will charge the merchants 2 to 3%, but now lately they have reduced it to about 1 to 2%. So it's getting less because of the competitions with the online payment, like touch and go and all this. They have a stiff competition. That's why they bring down to 1 to 2%. And also we have to understand, basically, they will charge you if you defer the payment, you do not pay on time. They will tell you 1 to 2%, but you think 1 to 2% is nothing monthly. But you have to understand it's not yearly, it's monthly, which is equivalent to 13 to 28% annually. I'll explain a little bit more about the interest. Okay. So, and also if you spend your money, when you go overseas, you use credit card, they will charge you very high exchange rates, the commissions they have to pay, and also the yearly membership. Some people, they want a nice card, they want to have what they call that, the highest premium cards and all this, but premium cards always come with a high, you have to pay membership fee, high membership fee as well. So at the end, so you pay a lot, you pay very high the management membership fee, but you are not going to use utilize the what you call that, you don't get the benefit of the credit card. So you have to, there are many cards in the market. So when you choose credit card, there's some is, they call it, you earn the point, then you can exchange for some free things and some goods, free gift and all this. But some cards, you can have the cashback. Cashback now is getting very popular because they give you cashback. You can get the money back. I think that is very important to get the money back. But it's a lot of restrictions and also the fine print you have to really understand. Every banks, they offer different type of the membership, what they call it, the card, and also the benefit. So I would suggest you compare different cards. And also, I also would suggest you use you do auto payment at the end, at the month of the end. Sometimes if you do it manually, sometimes you'll forget, then they will charge you the interest. Then the interest, they'll charge you 1% to 2%. So for me, you can have the standing instruction from the bank. They will do auto payment by the end. You can set the date. Let's say your payment is 5th of the month. So you can just tell them, okay, just tell the bank, every 5th of the month, you automatically deduct from my bank account. So what are the benefits of doing so? Because then you won't forget to pay. Once you forget to pay, you have to pay unnecessary interest. Even though you think 1% is nothing, but long run is still a lot of money. Okay. So, and sometimes you forget to pay, then you will charge you the high interest rate. So it's not worth it. I think that we have to think about how to minimize all this, and also and don't borrow money from credit cards. I'll explain why. Okay. So now we're talking about how to, when you come out after a few years, then you want to, when you start work, also you think you want to buy a car or house. So this is something, you earn money, now you want to spend your money, but you want to buy something more than what you can afford. So you have to borrow money from the bank. Okay. So like, for example, you buy a car or buy a house. So you need to, at the same time you buy a car or buy a house, you have to deal with the insurance company, and also you have to pay the interest. You have to borrow from the bank. So when you borrow from bank, so you have to understand the loan interest, how they charge you, and how do you borrow money from the bank. Okay, and also the insurance, how to buy insurance. Is it every company is the same? And how you deal with them. So I'm going to talk about this. Okay, So for example, to buy insurance, basically they will give you the quotations. So when you go buy the quotation, basically they will tell you, okay, this is something you need to buy. So you will see few things here. They will recommended some insured, and also the market value and the final market value. So these are the three things I want you to understand what does it mean. Okay. So basically, the recommend sum insured. So sometimes they will tell you, okay, your sum insured is 100,000, 1,500, 105,000, the car worth or the sum insured. They will recommend, but sometimes they will tell you to insure more than that. Okay, so also the market value, basically compared to market value, basically the recommend sum insured will be lesser. Okay, so this is the actual what do you call that, my experience. Actually, I get I have a car, the old car, so I get the quotation from the insurance company. So they will tell me, okay, so you have to the sum recommend sum insured is 105,000. So the premium is 1,557.42. So this is the premium I need to pay. But when I look at the market value, actually it's only about 95,000. And also normally the insurance company will send you the, let's say for example, your road tax will expire, let's say end of 2022. So end of this year. So it will be December 31st, your insurance will be, your insurance and the road tax will be expired. So normally they will send you about 3-4 months ahead. 3-4 months ahead of the what they call that, of the time. So in other words, in August or September, they will send you the quotations. So when you send you the quotation, the price, actually the market value is based on 4 months before your insurance expired. So if you can wait for another 2 more months or 3 months, so the market value sometimes will drop, especially when you bought your car in January or February. Basically, after the changing the year, the market value dropped even more. So for basically the insurance company is recommended some insured of my car is 105,000. But when I look at the market value 4 months before 4 months before the car road tax expired, is about 95,000. But when I wait for a few more months later, so which is about end of just January, then the market value actually dropped further, so to become the 87,400. So in order for me to follow what they suggested, I have to pay 1,257. But since so since I do not agree on the recommend sum insured, I want to make it, I prefer the market value, not the sum insured, or not the recommend sum insured. So and also I waited for a few months. So the final market value become 87,400. So I only pay the premium of the 961. In other words, by doing all this, I can save about 23.5% of my car insurance. Okay. So this is talking about the premium. So what you can do to save money. So in other words, do I get anything less? The answer is no. I save 20%. Do I get anything less? The answer is no. So why should I pay 20% unnecessary? What if my car is 1 million? So I can save about 3,000. Okay. So another coverage that I want you to look at is unlimited tow. Basically, when you buy insurance, it comes with 2 or 3 times, it depends on the company. They will offer you 2 to 3 times of free. If your car breaks down, they will give you free tow to the place you wanted. But of course, they have a range of, let's say, 30 km radius and all this. And also, these are the things. So unlimited tow, of course, they will charge you something extra. This is something unnecessary, actually. You just imagine if your car have to tow more than 2 times a year. So do you still want the car? So I think it's not necessary for all this, but you're paying something extra and you're not going to use it. And also another thing is that excess. Excess is meaning what they say, okay, excess is 300, sometimes they impose 500. What does that mean? It means if your own damage, let's say for example, that you have to claim insurance for, let's say your damage is 1,000. So if the excess is 500, maximum you can claim is 500. So excess sometimes always, when you buy insurance, most of the insurance they give free, no excess. Most of the insurance, but some insurance company they will say, okay, 300, some they impose 500. Look at it. Not only the premium, but also you need to look at the excess. What is the excess they impose to you? And also the excess got 2 things. One is the unnamed driver, and also the excess of the driver. So you can name so it's important to name the driver. You can name the driver to name free. So sometimes we just register one person. You can add additional one. Like say your father or your mother or your wife or your someone going to drive this car. So you can add another name. Do you need to pay? The answer is no. But if you don't pay, then it's unnamed driver. You have to pay excess. Okay. So these are the things you have to be the wise, what do you call that, consumer. And why I'm telling you all this, because I want you to be informed when you make decisions. And also the access for the unnamed driver, also whether you want to buy this or not, and how you have to look at how often you're going to loan this car to your friend or to someone you don't know. And what is so you have to gauge the risk. Mainly all this, I will not take all this at all. Okay. And also the windscreen coverage. Windscreen coverage basically is also very expensive. How they calculate the windscreen coverage is about 20% of the repair cost. So do we need that? For me, I will not take these options. Why? Because the windscreen coverage is based on the repair from let's say you buy the car from Toyota. So they will send back to Toyota, then they will claim how much the Toyota are going to charge you. So they base on 25%. But if you really need to repair your windscreen, you can go to third party or the workshop outside. Basically, they will not charge you so expensive. Basically, most likely half of the price, 50% of the cost, you can get it replaced. So why you pay 25% of the money to get, and how often you're going to get the windscreen broken? And also, another thing, actually, you can repair the windscreen when you have the small crack. Most of the people, they do not repair when they have a small crack. So it will be getting bigger and bigger, the crack will be getting bigger, and the whole screen will be broken. So when it's still small crack, I suggest you send to repair. It's just only 20, 30 ringgit to settle to repair the crack. So it's much more cheaper to do it this way. Okay. And also so to me, 25% of the total repair cost from the original price actually is not worth buying the windscreen coverage. Okay. So can you buy it later? The answer is yes. So if you have so many damage, a lot of small crack, maybe about 20 to 30 small cracks, so you decided to change the windscreen, maybe at that time, maybe you can buy. And also the windscreen coverage will not affect your NCP. I'm going to talk about the NCP. NCD is no claim discount. And also where to buy the insurance. Actually, you can get 10% rebate if you buy it directly. How to buy it directly? You go to if you go through the agent, basically no discount. If you buy directly from the insurance company, you can get 10% rebate. So I always do that. How to do it is very simple. Just send them an email. Then say, okay, give them, just tell them, okay, this is my car, the number plate, and also the car number and your name, everything. So they have all your information. They will send back to you. They will ask you who's your agent. You say, I have no agent, I do it myself. So they will give you 10% rebate. So even though it's not so much, but the thing is, it's a lot of money if you own an expensive car. So why I'm telling you this, because I know sooner or later you're going to buy a big car, nice car. So this is good thing to know. Okay, and also the no claim discount, NCD. NCD is also very important. Okay, talk about the debate first. Sorry. So you can get the debate. You just send them the email, ask them for the quotations. They also will send you the credit card form. You just fill up and sign the credit card, scan and send it back to them. That's all. So after that, once they send it back to you, then you just go to the post office and pay the money, and you get the road tax. It's as simple as that. So basically, I go to just send it to them, then I get and I can do it in 1 or 2 days time. So I can get it. Then after that, I will just go to the post office. I just pay the money. Even you don't need, if you are the owner of the car, you don't need to bring any document. Just go to the post office and show them your IC and tell them your car number. Immediately they'll print out everything. Then you pay the money. They'll give you the road tax. Today you don't need to bring your car certificate, anything, nothing. You just go there and just pay. Okay, so it's very, very, very easy now. And also, so let's talk about the no claim discount. No claim discount is very important. That's why sometimes first year is 0%, then second year is 15%, third year 20%. If let's say your premium is 10,000, so basically you can save how much? You can save 5,000 plus a year. It's a lot of money. So no claim insurance. That's why sometimes. So I do not encourage the young people to start. They should own a car with a cheaper car, so they can accumulate the non-claim insurance until 55% when the 5th year onwards. So for me, I'll get once so sometimes you give your daughter or your son a new car, no, the old car, but your name is still under your name. That is not so wise to do that. It's good to change the name to their own name. Why? They can start to accumulate the NCD. If not, when they want to buy the car, they have to pay very high NCD. There's no discount. It starts with 0. So they have to pay higher premium. if let's say, for example, you buy a car with a very cheap, you buy a cheap car, so you pay, you start to accumulate the NCB by the time of the 5th year, basically you can get discount of the 55%. This is how you save the money too. Okay, so if you want to get the car for your son or your daughter, I would suggest give them a cheaper car and transfer to their name. So let them accumulate their NCB. When they need the new car, they will pay much more cheap. They will pay cheaper NCD. Okay, they can get 55% discount. Okay, these are the something you can do immediately. So without so much money actually we can save if you know the mechanism. Okay, so since you want to buy since now you want to buy, what do you call that? You want to buy need to borrow money. Okay, so how to borrow money wisely and understand the effective interest rate. I think we have to understand this. Sometimes where to borrow money. Some people, they borrow money from loan shark, which is 24 to 30% yearly, and credit card loan basically is a licensed loan shark, is 18 to 28% yearly. Car loan. This is something I want you to understand about the mechanism of the car loan and the housing loan. So when you look at the car loan, let's say, for example, the salesman will tell you, okay, your car loan is 2.9% interest. Actually, you are paying 5.46% yearly compared to housing loan. So 2.9 car loan actually is much more expensive compared to the housing loan 2.88. In other words, 2.9% car loans, which is equivalent to 5.46 housing loan or mortgage loan. Okay, so this is something you need to know where to borrow money. Just give you one example, typical example. Let's say, for example, if the car, if the car loan is 3.2%, if my housing loan is 2.88%, why not you use the you loan the money using housing loan and pay cash to your car loan, which is cheaper. Basically, it's cheaper. So we have to understand the cost of borrowing. Many people ignore and do not understand the cost of borrowing. Actually, the cost of borrowing is very, we have to understand cost of borrowing wisely. Okay, so we need to know, okay, what is the cost of borrowing? So the flat rate 1.51%, which is equivalent to 2.9% effective interest rate per annum. Okay, you can use this calculator to calculate. It's very easy to get the answer. Okay, so we have to understand. Let's say, for example, you use loan shark money to buy car. Basically, you will go bankrupt because you are paying. Practically you're working for them. Okay, let's look at buying a car. Just for the comparison. Okay, let's say, for example, your loan amount is 500,000. Then type of loan, when one is mortgage, one is car loan. You use car loan, what do you call that, the flat rate method. So both of them also 5%. So your monthly payment of the mortgage actually is lower, and the car loan actually is paying higher. The total payment, we need to look at the total payment. Total payment is actually the mortgage, the total payment. Even you only loan 500,000, but at the end of the day, actually you are paying, including your loan amount plus the mortgage interest rate. Actually, you are paying 466, close to 500,000. Okay, so if you use the car loan, actually at the end of the day you are paying 1.2 million. So the interest alone the interest payment actually is 750, which is much more higher than your loan amount. So you know this is how you should aware of the loan, which loan you should when you need to buy a house or you need to buy a car, you need to look at this. Okay. So okay, so after start work, then you may need to want to borrow money to buy a property. So there are many types of loans in Malaysia. So there are 7 types of loans. So I will talk about it one by one. What are these loans? Okay. So basically, when you go to the bank, they will offer you term loan. 90% of the time, they will say, okay, this is a term loan. They will give you the term loan. Term loan means term loan is basically a very common loan in Malaysia. Mostly they will offer you this. For example, the maximum let's say if you have to pay back in 35 years, so you can pay back. Basically, there are benefit and disadvantage of it. Basically, if you pay monthly, let's say monthly, term loan is very simple to calculate. Basically, you just say, okay, every month you pay 3,000. So you have to pay 35 years, finish. Another one is a fixed rate loan. So this one fixed rate is basically you borrow money. Basically, you're afraid the interest rate may go up, so you can fix it. You can deal with the bank and say, okay, I'm afraid the interest rate may go up, so I want to fix it. Then you cannot charge me more than this. So you can ask for this type of loan also. Another type of loan is overdraft. Overdraft loans. Overdraft loan means basically you can what do you call that? You need to pay interest rate of the loan. Let's say, for example, you borrow 100,000. So you don't need to pay monthly, but every month you have to pay the interest rate. So let's say let's say the interest is 100, so every month you just pay 100 ringgit. So even you don't need to pay the principal, is still okay. So sometimes people want to make use of overdraft. They want to short-term investment, or they want to buy the house and immediately they want to sell it off. They want this way because overdraft basically is quicker and they don't have less what do you call that? You can pay back anytime. There's no, sometimes you don't even need what do you call that? A lot of procedure to sign the agreement and all this. And one thing I want you to aware of this loan is so-called flexi loan. Flexi loan, mostly if I borrow money, I'll prefer flexi loan. Okay, you have to understand what is flexi loan. Okay, flexi loan is something like, let's say, for example, I loan 100,000. If you buy a house, let's say 300,000. So if you have you have 100,000 cash. So the loan amount, let's say for loan amount is approved is 300,000. So mostly people will just take 200, but for me, I will take 300,000 flexi loan. So immediately I borrow term loan. You borrow 300,000. Basically, you have to pay back. Let's say pay back in 10 years. So every month you're paying a fixed amount for the next 10 years. What if you have more money today? Like for example, the durian runto or something like that. You get some extra money. Your boss is so kind, give you another 20,000. So you want to pay back this 20,000. For term loan, basically, it's a little bit difficult. I would not say it's not possible, but it's a little difficult. but you have to write to the bank saying you want to reduce the loan amount from 300,000 to 280,000. Okay, so then you pay back, your loan amount will be less. Of course, your monthly payment will be lesser. But when you need money, all of a sudden you say, oh shit, I need money to pay the medical bill or pay something. Then I want to borrow back money and now I want to get back my 20,000. Term loan you can't, but flexi loan you can. So in other words, it creates some flex. So some people, they are very stupid. They use term loan. At the end, they do FD. I don't have any FD, fixed deposit. I never keep any FD. FD is the most stupid way of doing keeping the money. Because the FD, let's say FD give you 2% of the interest, but your term loan charge you 4%. Actually, you are losing 2% every year, unnecessary. So I would suggest if you have something extra, let's say for example, you want to loan 300,000. So then you have cash of 100,000. I would suggest you loan 300,000. Immediately you pay back 200,000. The interest rate will based on 200,000, but your loan amount still 300,000, but your interest rate will be calculated as 200,000. So when you need money, you can withdraw that 100,000 anytime as you wish. So it gives you something flexibility when you need money urgently. So it's not necessary to keep FD in that sense. Okay, is it clear? Any question here?
Not very clear, because like does that only work if you have a loan? Because
Okay.
like if you don't have a loan, then you can't do this anyway, right?
No, you don't have a loan, then you can't do it this way.
Yeah,
So why not to have a loan? I'll explain why you need a loan.
okay, listen later then.
Okay, so some people view loan as negative, as something negative. No, actually loan can be positive. I'm going to explain this later. So flexi loan, so if you borrow, I would suggest you try to make use of the flexi loan. So mostly my bank are very reluctant to give you flexi loan unless you ask them. The best thing, the agent, you say you want to borrow money, straight away they will give you term loan or Islamic loan. They will love to give you these two loans because it's very profitable to them. Okay, I'm going to explain this later. So they either give you term loan or Islamic loan. We talk about refinancing later, okay? Another thing is, so you understand the flexi loan basically, so you should loan more and it's not in the hurry to pay back, because let's say for example, you loan 300, your loan is 300,000, but you pay, if you have 300,000, you all pay back 300,000. So do you need to pay interest? The answer is no. You just need to pay 10 ringgit per month to keep the account going on. But it's so much easier for you if you need money. Let's say, for example, we also need to look at the opportunity cost. Let's say, for example, your neighbor wants to sell the house, and because of the MCO, they sell it below market price or even half price. So, and everyone can't get the loan because it's a pandemic and it's so difficult to get a loan. But because you have this facility, you can immediately buy the place. So we have to look at the opportunity cost. This is very important, the opportunity cost, because many people overlook the opportunity cost. Okay, so we're going to talk about so flexi loan. If you don't understand, I would suggest you go and research a little bit. Ask your banker if you need to loan money. So talk to them. Tell me more about the flexi loan if you need to loan. Okay. They basically, sometimes they also don't understand what is flexi loan. So they don't have enough knowledge about the flexi loan, even the salesperson. I mean, the representative of the bank. Representative of bank are not so bad, but the agent of the bank, sometimes they don't understand, okay, because they have been told just to sell the term loan or the Islamic loan. So Islamic loan actually is very complicated loan, okay. There are many types of loan, the Islamic loan. There are four Islamic loans. Okay, one is call it the Murabaha concept. So basically, what is Murabaha concept? Basically, the bank will buy the property from the borrower and rent it back to them. So in other words, they will because Islamic law, they cannot earn interest from you. So they changed another concept is, okay, I buy it on your behalf. Then I will, after I bought the house, then I rent it to you. That is not an issue. The issue is halfway before the loan, before you pay off the loan, in case you want to sell the house, then you'll feel the pain. You will feel the pain. Because why? You have to pay back everything. So at the end, actually, you are practically, you don't get anything from, basically the minus here, minus there. At the end, you see nothing in your basically whatever you pay will be gone. So if you say, okay, I'm going to buy this house, I'm not going to sell it, and even in any circumstance I'm going to sell it, then it's fine. But who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? So so these are the thing is especially you want to borrow short term and all this. No, I would not suggest you go for this type of loan. Okay. Another type is the Abai Bihamat Aji loan. Okay, this is a little different type of the concept also. Mostly government loan will follow this concept. The concept of the loan is buy and then followed by a sales. So they buy the house and they sell it with different price. In other words, they buy the bank will bought this house or buy this house. Let's say the house is 100,000. Bank will buy 100,000. Let's say 30 years. Then they will sell it back at 200. Let's say 30,000. So they will calculate the interest rate, everything. Then they say, okay, the bank will buy this house at 100,000. Then they sell it to you at 100, and they say 230,000. Okay. So same thing, because they are selling it to you, you cannot say, then whatever you pay, you still have to pay a full amount. You want to settle the bank, basically you have to calculate whole thing again. So even you have not taken so it's when you want to pay back earlier, then you're stuck too. Okay, so then you buy and sell, then the purchaser will purchase the property from the bank, then through monthly installments. Okay, actually it's chicken and egg thing. So but you just want to be Islamic compliant. I think that's all. Okay, another type is what do you call that? Al Jarat Mutaya Itamilik. I don't know what is called it. So it translates into rent ending with ownership. So in other words, this type of concept is the bank will buy the house on your behalf, then they will rent it to you. At the end of the renting period, then you own you own the house. So in other words, it's rent ending with ownership. So this is a third type of the Islamic loan. So when you talk about Islamic loan, sometimes you have to be a little bit careful what type of loan they are talking about. It's a four type of loan. So it's even the banker also will confuse and all this. They also don't know what type of loan is that. Okay, so either the buy and sell it to you, or they buy and rent it to you. So this is our concept. So another type of the concept is that's another, the fourth type of concept. The fourth one is what do you call that? Murabaha. So this one is this is more because of the shortcoming or the early settlement and all this. It create a lot of issue with the Islamic loan. So they come up with this loan. They call Murabaha loan, which is more likely bank are able to offer the fixed rate and also basically they will look at it as commodity. So it's more similar to the term loan. Okay, this loan, Murabaha loan, actually is a more similar to the term loan, but with a different name. Okay, so so if you want to, if the bank, you want to go for the Islamic bank, Islamic loan, I would suggest you do a little bit more research before you get the loan. Okay.
Sorry, Doctor, just to remind you that we only have 30 minutes left, including the
okay.
Yeah.
I'll try to move it faster. Okay, also refinancing. Refinancing also, when you don't have money, what you're going to do, you can refinance. You can mortgage, or if let's say you have paid back all your loan, so you can use your whole loan, your house to refinancing. Not only house, car also same thing. Any car also can. You also can refinancing your car, and also another one is the housing loan. Okay, so that's about the loan. So I'm not going to spend so much time on the loan. So how much is the bank interest you're going to pay? So basically, we have the bank will tell you the bank lending rate. So basically, the bank lending rate is about currently December is about 3.45. Basically, you should look at the base lending rate, and you should should be lower than the lending rate, the borrowing. Okay, this is a guideline when you talk to the bank. So when you look at it, the bank interest rate, Islamic loan and all this, the interest rate is 2.9, 2.79, 3%. But you look at the bank interest, the bank BLR, bank lending interest basically is much more higher. Okay, so whether you're paying a lot or not, you should search from the internet, and also you should ask them what is the bank lending rate. Are they giving you less than that? Okay, so this is if you use your credit card, okay, this is something, I give you one example. I have a friend, let's say he borrow 15,000, he owe credit card 15,000. So the bank, the loan and plus interest, actually the interest rate after pay the 15,000 borrowing, then loan plus interest is about 17,000. So when you look at it, if you look at year one, it's not so much different. But when you look at 20 years later, actually you are, so 15,000, if you are not, so if you owe credit card money, 15,000, and you ignore it for 20 years, at the end of the day, you have to pay 410,000. Okay. So do not owe credit card money. So will they chase for you? No, they just wait. 15,000, they will wait until 20 years, then they come back, then they'll ask you to pay 410,000 20 years later. And you still cannot say, I don't want to pay. Okay, so you have to be careful. So if you look at the housing, if you use housing, you refinance your housing, actually how much you're paying? Actually you're paying 27,000 only. You borrow 15,000, after 20 years, actually you're paying 27,000. So you compare 27,000 and 410,000, you understand what are the damage you're going to face. So do not, young men, do not borrow money from credit cards. Okay, you're killing yourself. Okay, so other than that, you also have the mortgage reductions term insurance. So when you buy insurance or you buy house, also you have to pay, you have to buy the insurance. Okay, so the MRTA. So these are the something you buy a house, buy 100,000, actually you have to pay more than they have to buy insurance. So slowly you're getting less. Is follow the value of the loan. In other words, in case anything happened to you, the insurance will cover, you don't need to pay back. So the insurance will help you to pay back in case anything happens to you. Okay, so these are the things you need to look at it. So quiz number 2. If you purchase a house, 500,000 with 30 years loan, so you sell it at 966 after 30 years, how much do you make?
Yeah, Doctor, I've launched the poll for you.
Yeah, I see.
You can
Yeah.
answer.
Okay, we have 33% saying making a loss. So we have about, oh, no less, okay. Okay. So no profit at all is 45%. Okay, about 40 making profit of 17%. Actually, you are making a loss. So basically, the interest rate is 466,000. So you borrow for 500,000 with a 5% interest rate for the 30 years. Actually, you sell it for 966. Actually, it's not making 466. The bank is making 466. You are making nothing. So basically, it's no profit at all. But bear in mind, you have to pay lawyer fee. You have to pay agent fee. You have to pay lawyer fee, all these fee, and also the loan you borrow from my bank, also you have to pay the lawyer fee. So end up, you're making a loss. Not the house, but you have to pay the lawyer fee and all this. Actually, you're making a loss in that sense. Okay. So third one. So if you buy a car with 500,000 with 30 years interest, 30 years loan, then you sell it for 1.2 million. How much do you make? Yeah, no profit at all. You're right. Okay. So basically, you have actually is no profit at all because the flat rate is very, very high. So actually, if you buy with this flat rate, basically you're paying the interest the bank is making 750,000, not you. So at the end, actually, you are working for bank. So basically, you sell as 2.2. Sorry, the calculation is a little bit wrong. Okay, it's not 1.25 minus. So basically, the profit will you're paying the bank is making profit. Basically, there's no profit at all to you. Okay. So we look at this, then we know loan amount 5%. Basically, the total payment is this much. But the interest is 400,000, and now one is you paying for the 750,000. Okay, so you have to understand the system of the mortgage and the car loan. So quiz number 4. As a basic guideline, if your annual income is 50,000, how much can you loan? And what type of car should you purchase? Okay, in principle is 2 years of your income. In Japan, mostly they will calculate what type of car you should budget to, how much you should budget to buy a car. Basically is your annual income of ×2. It's basically 2 years of your annual income. In other words, for you to get a bank loan as well. If you borrow 100,000 from bank, basically it's about 2 years. Okay, this is for house. For car is basically 2 years. So you can if you borrow 100,000, so basically it's considered affordable to you. You buy 150,000, it's beyond your reach. Okay, so you should look at how much car and how much you need to spend for cars. So this is just a basic guideline for you to judge. And also the basic guideline, if you have the annual income is 50,000, how much you should budget a house. In other words, how much loan can you get from the bank? Okay, great. Basically is 250,000 is times 5. Basically is the income of 5 times is something you can afford, you can get from the bank. But unfortunately, today you can't get any house. So in other words, if you work 5 years without eating or without spending, you can afford to buy a house. But that was 10 years ago. Today, no way you can do that. But in Shanghai or in China, basically you have to work for 40 years without drinking or eating or spend any money. So 40 years of income you have to spend for just a housing. So it's ridiculous. So it's beyond, no way you're going to afford a house in Shanghai or in China. So it's very, very difficult. Okay, so this is something like give you a guideline. Of course, this is guideline. You can adjust a little bit, but this is something you can get from you can easily get the loan from the bank. Okay? So what's inflation? Inflation means, so inflation, we should view it positively or negatively. Okay. There's no answer, the not standard answer for it. This is how you review it. I'm going to explain a little bit more. Okay. What is inflation? Inflation means today, last year, you buy what you call grocery for 100 ringgit. So a year later, you use 100 ring, you buy the same amount of thing or same quantity. Now you have to pay 120. The inflation rate is 20%. So the inflation rate means the money getting, the value of money are getting less. So this is meaning of the inflation. So how the inflation affect us? Okay, so let's look at the Zimbabwe. So Zimbabwe, they suffer from the hyperinflations. Hyperinflations basically for 36 months in November 2019. So the inflation rate go how many times? 10 million%. So you just imagine you have 10 million ringgit, 36 months, 3 years later, your 10 million ringgit become 1 ringgit equivalent. So what are you going to do with this money? So in other words, if you owe the bank 10 million, now you only you need to pay back 1 ringgit to the bank, then you settle off the bank loan. How nice is it? So Dr. Ian, I think you need to borrow money if the inflation is very high. So if you 10 million%, if you borrow 10 million, you buy the house, then you just return at 1 million. In other words, you just buy the house for 1 ringgit. So that is how the inflation affect us. So if you know how to make use of it, then you can make money. So it's positive. If you are, for example, if you if you don't have saving and you have nothing, but inflation, or you basically you have to, if you're making the salary, basically, if it, then your salary become lesser. Let's say 20%. Last year, let's say you earn 3,000. So this year 10,000, so still 3,000. Or then, but the 3,000, the inflation rate is 20%. Basically, your 3,000 can only buy lesser thing compared to last year. So your buying power are affected. So this is how we should view it. Okay. So, so is your house asset or liability? Okay, so whether it's asset or liability, I think we have to look at this way. If I just give you one example, the first house I bought at 240,000, and I stayed there for 10 years or 15 years. Today, if I sell the house, I can get, let's say, 1 million. So I'm making money or I lose money. Basically, I'm making money and I can stay for free for 15 years. So it's an asset for me. Or in other words, if I can rent it out, it creates income, become an asset. What if you buy a house or buy a property, it cannot generate income? That will become a liability. Because why? You have to pay the maintenance fee, you have to pay the repair, but there's no income. Basically, so we have to view at every property we invest, it needs to be an asset to you. If a liability, you have to think otherwise. Because you're not, the asset is not making it bring you anything extra, but you have to pay, you have to spend, you have to become a liability. So these are the things we have to look at it carefully. Okay. So at the end is how to make money. You can start your own business and also to make money, or you can put your money in the FD, or you can investment link, insurance, unit trust, share market, property investment. All these are the vehicle you can utilize your money to make money. You use money to make money. But like intellectual property, you actually, these are the green color one, you do not need money. Actually, some people say, oh, I have no money to invest. No, actually you can invest. You can make money without money. So if you have something, you can create something new, you can have the intellectual property, actually you can make money. Also, your creditability, you can borrow money from bank. So many people are not fully utilized the creditability they have. Okay, and also some connections, you can use connection to make money. That if you know the PM and you know the PM son, then maybe that is a good. You can use the connection to make money. Okay, so so if you want to start business, basically you have many type of business entities. So proprietary, partnership, sendirian berhad, and also LLP, limited liability partnership, berhad. Berhad basically is a listed company. So basically we do not look at this. The sole proprietary, I'll just explain this quickly. Sole proprietary basically is let's say, for example, you have to take full responsibility. In case anything happen, people sue you, you'll sue you until bankrupt. Sendirian berhad basically, or the private limited, they won't sue you until you bankrupt. You only, let's say your payout capital is 50,000, so they only can claim maximum is 50,000. So it protect you from being bankrupt. Okay, so these are because of time issue, I am not going to talk about this. So basically the rest is, let's talk about the investment. I'm going to talk about the property investment. Many people are afraid of getting loan. So let's look at the asset, loan, and net asset. The concept, let's look at this concept. If your asset of 100,000, you have no loan, so your net asset is 100,000. Let's say your asset is 200,000, you have 100,000 loan, your net asset is still look at 100,000. If your asset is 500,000, you have loan 400,000, basically your net asset is still 100,000. So we should look at the asset and also the net asset. Basically, the net asset to you is 100,000, same thing. So the loan, the only difference is loan amount. So how we can utilize the bank's money to make money. Look at the let's say, for example, the asset capital appreciation is 28%. This is what I did before. So I calculate what is my gain for the last 5 years. So I managed to make about 28%. So 28%, so my asset become this much. So the loan amount is still the same, but you look at my net assets. Without loan, basically I only make 138,000. So if I make use of the loan or the bank's money, I can make 100,000, I make 300,000. So in other words, my net asset or what I make is 200,000. I can use 100,000 to make 200,000. You can use only 200,000 only your income, your increment only 38,000. Of course, you make money, but it's too little. Okay, so let's look at the price index. So before you invest, you have to look at the price. And this is a little bit old because I did not go to research for the latest. You look at China, you see increase. If you buy at this time, basically you'll be multi-millionaire today because it's going up. So when you want to buy something, we have to look at the trend, whether it's going up or coming down. Okay, so when look at let's say, for example, the capital, the GDP of Malaysia. Our GDP, you look at it, actually our GDP is stagnant for the past 10 years. It's not increased anymore. But you look at the Malaysia GDP, actually is very, very little. You look at the Shanghai GDP today, actually they are almost more than double, close to 3 times of our GDP. Okay, so but they have increased a lot. But for us, for the past 10 years, basically you look at it, it's almost no change. So because of this, we have to look at the housing, the market today. So when you want to invest, the housing price increased 77% in the past 10 years. In other words, housing invest in property actually is very lucrative investment previously. But you have to look at it. This is the past 10 years, but you look at the short term, basically the mid-range, the mid-range housing price basically is 289, about 290,000. So Malaysians' average income is 70,000 per year. So in other words, 30% of the population cannot afford more housing more than 250,000. So 80% of houses in market are more than 250,000. So in other words, we are stagnant at the 10 years ago. So the price, so that's the reason why sometimes we want to buy a house, it's very difficult to get loan, the housing loan because of that. So because our income is not growing accordingly compared to the inflation rate. Okay. So look at our 2014, our GDP is about 11,000, but looking at 2020, actually is going down. So with this GDP, we have to push back to 10 years ago. So it's about, these are the amount we can afford. Let's say 250,000, how we can get. So we we are at the 2012 the year, we are at same level as 2012, but the housing price has gone up so high. So we have to look at, when you want to go for the housing property investment, we have to look at the buying power of the people. Okay. So just now I mentioned about the 77% the past, what do you call that, the return. So it looks very good. But when we look at the 5 years, the gross rental has gone down a lot. Actually, the rental income is not so good compared to last time. When we look at the gross rental in 14 years back, actually the rental rate is about close to 9%. So that time is really wonderful and fantastic years for us. But the 10 years back, it's gone down, and today is 1 year, the interest has become 3.75. So interest rate, when you look at the interest rate, fluctuate and it going down. So we have to take into the interest rate, the constraint, and also whether is it higher than the interest rate or not. So the return, how to calculate the ROI, the return on investment on property, basically we have to look at the rental yield. It should be more than the interest rate. Okay, so look at this. This is how I get, look at the capital appreciations. So Malaysia capital appreciation is something about 28%, then the rental return and all this add up, we can get about 38%. So this is I invested from 2008 until 12, this is the return for me. And if you invest in China or Hong Kong, wow, the return is fantastic. Its return is the 87%, but the holding cost is also very high. So we have to look at this. Okay. So, and also if we want to buy a house, basically we only also look at the density of why the city area, the price is going up because the density is very high. You don't want to buy somewhere the density is very low. The chances of the increment of the value capital appreciation actually is very low. So you have to look at this is something, the guideline for you. You don't look at the very low, the high density like Wangsa Maju, Marudi. Basically the pricing there will not increase a lot. Okay. So another thing is the intellectual property, something you can come out. You don't need to invest, but you need to use some of the brain power. Okay. So the Bitcoin, I don't have time to talk about Bitcoin, but basically I do not recommend you to invest anything in the Bitcoin because of the con meant there. Okay, because even so so basically how to make use of information to make money. So you basically you need to make good friends and get more information, more informed. So like today you are a little bit more informed. So how to borrow money and all this. So before so that you won't waste your money and work for the bank unnecessarily. Okay. So this is something finish my talk. So okay, so the question here is from Kason is how true is it the term we have to spend money to make money as an example for this application? Yeah, to spend money doesn't mean spend money. You can spend money by buying houses, buying property. Especially during the high inflation time, you should buy property and borrow money from the bank. Utilize bank's money, and also let's say for example I lately bought a shop lot next to my office. So I borrow money from the bank. Then this is spend money. To a company, actually spend money. So and also you want to save tax because you don't want to make money. Actually, all goes to tax. So you can actually use the company to buy a property or something like that. That you can save tax and also don't need to pay so much tax. Okay, so
Yeah, okay. Doctor, thank you for your presentation. I think now we can have 15 minutes of Q&A.
Yep.
Yeah, I believe there's a question earlier asked by Mini. He said, "Hi, doctor, please elaborate the flood coverage." I believe this is for the car insurance.
flood coverage, basically, for me, I will not take flood coverage, just simply because my area, I don't think there'll be any flood in this area. If my place have flood in my area, I think the whole KL will be no more, whole KL will be flooded. So in that sense, I don't need that, because the chances of the possibility of the having flood in my area is very, 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 very small. So I don't think I need it. So if you live in somewhere, I think every day will the flood area, maybe you may want to consider. Okay. Yeah, I think it's a good practice for Ian. He didn't take any car loan. He just pay by cash. Yeah, but some people don't have this don't have money, but they still want to own a car. So I think they have to pay. They have to get the loan. But for me, sometimes I will use my mortgage to pay for my car loan. So basically, so I use my car loan, my mortgage to pay for my car loan. So I normally I try not to borrow the car loan, but sometimes they do offer very, 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 very low rate. And I think you can look at it in that sense. If the rate is low enough, I think it's no harm to take that as well. Okay.
Yeah, there are some few questions in the chat box from
Okay.
Yong Jin Chao. Or do you want to unmute yourself, Yong, to better express your question?
Okay. Yong, buying insurance in line count as non-agent. I think that they have online. You can buy online and all this. Yes, go ahead.
Well, I meant, does buying insurance online count as non-agents?
Not necessary. Some online, but my EG and all this, basically, you have to ask them whether they give you 10% rebate. If not, then it's not. It's different thing. But for me, I will talk to I will just send them an email. Then you can ask them to recode. Because sometimes online, they already fix everything. Let's say, for example, you want the lower market value. You don't want the agreed value. So you want the latest market value. So sometimes if you buy through you send the email to them, it's easier that way. So sometimes you say, okay, I don't want this item, I want that item. So it can be more customized in that sense. So I prefer to talk to them, email them directly. I mean, of course, there's some company, they do quite user-friendly way of buying insurance. I think that online, I think that we should consider, but normally I don't, but maybe you can try. But just to make sure you get 10% discount, I think that is the main thing.
Yeah, I hope that answers your question, Yong. So next, John Wong, do you want to unmute and ask the question?
I think you're talking about credit score, right? I don't know this credit score is from where, but basically you have a higher credit score, the better it is. So you can borrow more money, and you can basically the credit score is when you need to you want to borrow money. If you don't need to borrow money, basically is nothing important. For me, it's very important because I borrow a lot of money from bank.
Okay, so so far there's no questions yet. So we have collected a few questions from the participants. So I will convey the question to you. So first, it's like participants is asking like what books, websites, or other materials do you recommend to improve one's financial literacy, and does the advice from the books really apply to the real world?
Okay, I think today not many people going to. You can just now I mentioned the book, that one actually you can read, understand. Basically, there's no book per se tell you what to borrow money and all this. They just tell you the concept. Sometimes is not easy to understand. So, but of course you can go through some books and learn as much as you can, I think. But also please be aware of some books. They try to sell you something and they give you different perspective. So I think I have something here. Basically, my presentation, some of the link here. Maybe I'll compile it and send it to you later.
Okay, thank you. There's another question in the chat box by Michelle Chi. How are the assets market now in KL? Is it a good time to invest?
Okay. I think a lot of cheap, what do you call that? Cheap assets in the market today. I think it's a good buy because many people, the many people, they do not have, they wanted to buy, but they can't get the fund. They can't borrow money from the bank. So that's why the market is have been gone down quite a lot today. So, but I would suggest you do not buy something cannot generate income. So you should look at something can easy to rent out. Some easy to rent out and give you a very good return compared to something you buy the residential area, like for example the expensive condominium. You will lose a lot of money, but don't go for that. I think it's time, good opportunity to buy some of the commercial property. I think it's dirt cheap today. Residential a little bit difficult. Why? Because the as I mentioned just now, because people can't get loan and our salary is not increased accordingly. So we are pushed back to about 10 years ago. So we only can afford something 10 years ago, but today there's so much expensive today. Everything is so much expensive today. So, but having said that, but some of the corporate, they still can generate quite a good income. And also they need a place to do their business. But in long run, I think the investing in the commercial property will be a good investment. Once the economy are recovering, I think we should expect a very good return for the commercial property.
Yeah, and also I think from quite a number of participants want to, they're curious about how you went through in starting a business and how to start up a business and how do you choose an appropriate business to start?
Okay, to start a business, basically the easier way is to use money to make money. That is the easiest. So I started with invest, but you have to do a lot of homework. Don't go blindly and follow invest. First thing I invested is in share. So I make some quite a good money in share market. When I bought it during the financial crisis. During that time, the price is dirt cheap. So I bought it. Then I keep it for about 10 years. So after that, I sell all my share. I move into the property market. During that time, the property market is booming. So I just keep buying and borrow as much as possible. So during that time, it's easier to borrow money because if you only need to pay 10%. If I have 1 million, basically I can buy 10 millions property. So just imagine if the capital appreciation of the 20%, I make 200,000, 2 million basically easily. So this is how you make money. But for business point of view, I mean, I started with software company. Basically, so it's quite a good money. But the thing is very tiring, and also it takes a lot of energy from me. And I don't think this is a good career and a good business I want to be in. So after that, I sold it to the listed company. So I get money. So I out from this business. So sometimes people have this mentality, they want to hold on to what they have. For me, is everything is just a product to me. If you want the software company, I can sell it to you as soon as you pay a good money. So after that, I see another opportunity in the homeschool. So I went into the homeschool business, and during that time it's still very new. So I make some money, but my partner wanted this business. They say this is a good money. They want to expand, and they want to make more money by their own. I say it's fine enough. Pay me the money, I'm out. So I make money from there also. So sometimes you come up with the money, do the business. Sometimes you will only see the money when you sell it. So now I'm doing some. So I think these are the thing also very difficult to make money. So the best money is to have something like intellectual property. Intellectual property, you don't need to work so hard, but people still keep paying you. So that's why I went into the education business. For what they call that, for the English program. So today I'm selling all this English program to about 10 countries, including Japan, China, and also Canada, and also in Southeast Asia, ASEAN. So I can sell it as a very high premium because of the intellectual property. So the cost may be 10%, but you can 10 ringgit, you can sell it for 100 ringgit. So your profit margin is very high. So today I'm in this business. Basically, I'm doing all this, and also food business. Food business is everyone need to eat. So sometimes generate. It's not a quick money, but it's constantly generating some good income for you. So, and also you don't need to pay. The only thing is why we make money, because I want to have a freedom of the choice and the options, whether I want to do it or I don't want to do it.
Okay. Thank you very much for your sharing of your experience. So I guess we can have another question. So this question basically will be a question for majority of us here. It's like what are the good passive income methods for a doctor?
I think doctor, you can, I just give you one example of my doctor friend. He's a doctor in JB. At the same time, he's the inventor. He invented a lot of the equipment of the gadgets for some of the what do you call that, hospitals and all this. And he one part is his hobby, another part is he can make money, like the something he can. For example, he also invented the circumcisions what do you call that? Not the tools, it's something like a gadget or something like that. A cream something to cream the what do you call that? So I also don't know what is the medical term for that. So they just cream it, and he also sell this equipment, and also he licensed and also another interesting thing what he did is the soy sauce cap. So the company is buying his patent for the soy sauce cap. So I think it's something like what you can do, and also the passive income, you can make money and start to invest. There's a lot of investment. Let's say you may want to consider some of the commercial asset or some. For me, the easier way is to what is that? Is the property investment. Why? It generates the stable and also the easy to manage. You're only getting income only. You're getting the monthly rental only. So you don't have to spend so much effort to really to manage it. But again, commercial property, don't go for the residential. Residential basically is very hard and very difficult to collect rental. So I would not recommend you to go for the what do you call that, for the commercial rent, the residential property.
So does like the commercial property, does it also include like the rental for others?
Yes, the rental. The rental basically, let's say for example, how do you decide which property whether worth buying or not? Let's say for example, the rental is the property is 1 million. If the rental is 3,500 a month, so do you think it's worth buying or not? If I give you this question, rental is 3,500. The purchase price 1 million. So what is the ROI? The ROI is 4%, 4.2%. So just now, if you look at the bank interest, if the bank interest is lower than 4.2%, basically it's making a surplus. So as soon as any capital in appreciation, you can earn that part of the capital appreciations. So let's say the property go up, because when you rent it out to people at the, let's say 4.2%, actually every year you're earning is let's say 3.2% your interest rate. So you're earning 1% a year. Actually, it's not much. But if you look at the capital, so if you look at the long run in the capital appreciations, so let's say for example 10 years later you can sell for 2 million. So how much do you make? 1 million plus 1% every year of 100,000. You get it? So this is a very good passive income to consider. But of course, you have to buy a place you can rent it out. So you need to survey, and also you need to know which area is good area. You can rent it out. Then the rental market, how's the rental market? You have to really do some study.
Okay, thank you very much. I guess there's, okay, we allow for one last question from Dr. Fiona. So Dr. Fiona asks, I have a bad investment made at the Penang Times Square, Penang, and it's currently making no income due to the management and the pandemic. So she's asking for any advice on how to go about it.
Okay, property is a little bit difficult to sell, especially during this pandemic time. That's why it's very important when you purchase a property, you have to look at the management, and also sometimes, especially those who guarantee you return and they will tell you, okay, I guarantee how many percent return. Actually, you buy this type of property, basically, I do not recommend you to buy this type of property. When they recommend, they jack up the price. Actually, the return won't be so good. So for the Penang Times Square, I really don't know the situation there. Maybe I would suggest is you try to rent it out even lower. Something is better than nothing. I think that is even the rental is lower, I will still rent it out. That is what if I were you, I think I will just rent it out. Better than getting nothing. I always believe something better than nothing. Since you want to sell it, also not possible. You want to sell it for profit, even harder. So the thing is, you have to wait for the recovery. So that's why you want to important. I mean, for you to have the knowledge of the investment before you go into, rather than listen to the property agent and all this.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Wei. I believe we have to call it a day for today. So maybe if there are further questions, Doctor, can you share your email address so that the participants can email you for the questions?
Okay.
Do you mind?
Okay. I will. Okay, I will write it this way. Okay, my email address is very easy. Mau cari oi.
Okay, so I guess that'll be the end for today's talk. Once again, we'd like to thank Dr. Wei very much for your time. And I hope all of us here have gained a lot of better sense on the financial management and also practical knowledge for financial decision making. On behalf of AMSA MUCM, we'd like to sincerely thank you for your time and effort to share with us today. So as a token of appreciation, we now present an e-certificate to you. Jensen, can you share the certificate?
Wow, very nice. Thank you so much.
And I pin myself. That's like, all right. So, Jensen, can you help us to take a photo? All right, I think I take it. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Smell. Okay, one more. 3, 2, 1. All right. Thank you. Thanks, Jensen. You can unshare the screen.
And also another thing is actually you can keep writing to the bank asking for the reduction of the interest rate. I do that quite often because if you realize your interest you're paying is more than the market rate, just write a letter to them. Mostly they will do it for you. They will reduce the bank interest. Do not shy and do not hesitate to write them anything. To write them a letter, say, okay, this is we want you to reduce the interest rate. Mostly they will agree to it, but they will tie you for another 3 years. You can't change or refinance your mortgage. But normally they will reduce for you. So you just save some interest from there. So do not hesitate to do that. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Wei. You may now adjourn. And to all the participants, kindly spend a few minutes to fill out the feedback form because your feedback is very important to us to improve our events in the future. And I hope everyone has gained a lot of knowledge from Dr. Wei today. Once again, we'd like to thank Dr. Wei for your time and effort. Thank you. And Jensen,
Okay,
can
thank you
share
very much. The president of AMSA, Wen Hao, and also the advisor, Professor Dr. Song.
Thank you. Jensen, would you mind sharing the screen for the feedback form.